perfect timing as I'm filling my pint glass. We'll go live.
We're
right
live.
as
That's
we
perfect. Filling up the glass as a start. The important things with beer.
Welcome to our show.
So, what are you drinking, Jim? What you got there?
90 shilling. My daughter just came in from Colorado. 90 shilling brought me a case of my favorite Colorado beer that I can't get here. So.
That's awesome.
That looks fancy.
Yeah, it's in my 90 shilling glass.
Ooh.
Which we were just talking about. We were just talking about this 90 shilling glass. It's as old as Yikang. He's literally as old as Yikang.
So I've got
Oh, go ahead, Jake.
We just had I just picked up food from Tapatio's in Fitchburg, which both of y'all, if you haven't eaten at Tapatio's, you need to.
No, yeah, we eat at Tapatio's all the time. Best tacos in town, hands down.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No,
not the best tacos in town, hands down.
Well, maybe in Fitchburg.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Enchiladas verdes. We literally had 4 orders of it. My family, we were all just like I don't think we talked for 5 minutes. I think we were just sucking down food. So I have a margarita tonight. So
nice.
That's awesome. So do they have like you said they're the best tacos in town? They like what kind of taco? Well, let's find out what Yikang drinks first.
I got New Belgium Voodoo Ranger. They have like several types of Voodoo Ranger, but this one's a Juicy Haze IPA.
Colorado beer.
Is it Colorado?
New Belgium it is. Fort Collins. They make Fat Tire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have.
Well, I don't know. Nowadays they're big enough. Maybe they've got a brewery like in Dubuque or something. I don't know.
All right, so we don't have Franco on yet, but he's joining us. I was told he is definitely joining us. So thank you for joining us, guys. We appreciate it. This is our second podcast of 2021, and we are sorry that you weren't able to join us last time, Yikang. So we'll have to catch you up.
Yeah, what happened last time?
So we went through some updates. By the way, Miss Betty White turned 99. She is not just alive, but she's kicking, and she's doing very well, my friend. So
I was just watching Betty White blooper.
The year has just begun. Wait and see.
Yeah.
I just literally wasn't even a half an hour ago. I ended up on some YouTube rabbit hole where I ended up looking at Betty White bloopers real quick. I was like, oh yeah, she's hilarious behind the scenes.
Yeah. So Betty's still here. Bill Cosby's still here, and he didn't get pardoned. So Fabian's at a 0 as well. So don't feel bad, Yikang. Charlie Sheen, none of us really know if he's still alive, but let's just bet on it until we hear otherwise, I guess. And
was that mine?
Still kicking it. Willie Nelson's still there. So
okay, but Charlie Sheen's mine, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that was by default because I wouldn't pick one.
Okay, so that's where we're at. We're all at 0s. My New Year's prediction for the Packers winning the Super Bowl didn't come true. However, we did better than the Chiefs did. So I like to think of us as number 2. But
I don't want to talk about the game. I'm still a little salty about it. The only thing that hurt the most, I'll say this, is that I felt like the Packers beat the Packers that game.
Yep.
We lost
to
ourselves.
We were one touchdown away. If we could have stopped
there's so many mistakes
at the end of half.
Yeah.
So
that's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that.
So no one's winning yet. Jim, you guys are releasing a song this weekend, aren't you?
No.
Ooh.
I know. So apparently, so we were, and then at some point somebody made a realization that we were not allowed to use one of the words that was in the name of the title of the song. So we had to change the title name. So when we had to change the title name, then we had to change the artwork. And we had to change the artwork, we had to set it back into all the different platforms, and then we sent it all in the bit. So anyway, I just delayed it by whatever, which is, you know what? It's one of these things where you come up with a learning experience and you're like, whatever it takes to put a positive spin on it.
Yeah.
And so what we ended up doing is we changed the name. And one of the big things now is, from you guys would probably know this way more than I would, but one of the things now is a lot of the bands, when they come up with the name of a song, they take the acronym of the name of the song and they use the acronym as the thumbnail for a lot of the artwork and stuff when you go to like Spotify or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And when we came up with the acronym, it just happens to be IDOL, which spells idol, which is actually a very cool name for the band, for the song. It actually fits in with the concept of the song, sort of. So,
well, can I talk about the concept of the song, or is it a surprise?
Sure. No, it's not a surprise.
So it's basically, about the social media, declaring love on social media, and how shallow, how things, you can present yourself as you want on social media without necessarily being you, and how like a declaration of love on Facebook is pitiful, basically. like instead of this human contact thing, it's like this declaration of.
What is it on Facebook yet? But did you post it on Facebook?
If you were to declare love to someone and then also share it on Facebook, that's not lame. But if you only do it on Facebook, that's lame. So that's the difference.
Or like if the relationship isn't official unless it's announced on Facebook.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the lyrics is in the song is it's basically it's like go ahead and put it on Facebook and everything like that, and but like the back end of it is like right after you close that shopping cart.
Exactly.
And it's like how important it was important, except for Amazon is having a sale right now.
It's a transaction. That was the cynicism, is that it's a transaction rather than an emotional expression. So then this would have tied in really well to Franco, and I'm not going to go there totally with Franco, other than that he posted something this week that he was single. So I don't need him to talk about that, but we gotta talk about that. Let's just say that. So I want to talk about concerts. So who remembers their first concert, their first actual concert?
Well, it depends on how you look at it. I mean, I do.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I'm
as soon as you can.
Yeah.
Mine was Foo Fighters at Summerfest, 2012 or 13.
I don't have enough profanity to tell you where to go with that. That's ridiculous. Nobody goes to Foo Fighters for their
first.
Yeah, it was my first one. And it's Summerfest too, so like it wasn't like super expensive. We got like just like lawn seats at the whatever the biggest
Marcus.
theater there, the Marcus.
Yeah. So who opened for them? Do you remember?
It's Summerfest, like everybody.
I'm trying to think. It's the tip of my tongue.
Like Metallica or something.
I think it was Silver Sun Pickups, if I remember correctly. The Silver Sun Pickups were opening. That was my first concert.
Right on.
You?
How about you, Jim?
No, you.
Okay, so the first, I had an older brother, so I had the benefit of being the tag along to some concerts. And I remember the first concert that I actually really loved in Madison. I saw the Violent Femmes here in Madison at the Civic Center.
Wait, but was that your first concert though? Not the one you first loved. What's your first concert?
I think that was the first one. Well, no, I take that back. I was blessed with awesome concerts as a kid. So in 7th grade, this was actually the first like big concert. The woman who's now my stepmom, who was my dad's fiance at the time, got us 6th row tickets to Sting at the Coliseum. And we sat 6th row to Sting on his, it was Nothing Like the Sun tour, but he also did like acoustic set where he played a bunch of Police songs. And it was awesome. I mean, I literally, like, I remember the point where he and I locked eyes for a little bit, like when you're sitting that close and that experience. That was pretty awesome. But I remember the first concert as a teenager that I got to go to, like, by myself with my skating buddies, and that was In Excess. We saw In Excess at Marcus Amphitheater, and that was pretty cool too. That was a fun.
You saw them.
Steel Pulse opened up for them, so a reggae band, and I remember that just opening my mind to like oh my God, these guys are awesome. Like just the bass hit you like to the point where like your chest is like, you know, and I was like, this is cool. I could do more of these. Yeah.
Wow.
That's the best feeling.
All right,
No. So, all right, depends on how you look at it. So we're gonna the very first like concert type. I mean, I don't know if you can consider this a concert really, because it was at a car show. So it wasn't like, I mean, it's not like a concert. It was a car show and they had a music act there. So I'll put this out here as being like the first time I saw like a professional like performance like that. Okay, I'll call that, and that was Chubby Checker at a car show in Denver.
Nice.
But then actually my real like first legit concert wasn't actually terrible, but it was Def Leppard opening for Billy Squier. Billy Squier. Well, it was Def Leppard on their Pyromania tour, so it was it had just come out, you know, when everybody was really starting to pay attention to Def Leppard and everything. You know, Pyromania just hit, and everybody's just like, what? And essentially, everybody went to the concert to see Def Leppard, and Billy Squier was there too.
Yeah.
You know? The problem with Billy Squier is that Billy Squier, when he played live, at least then, he like every song was an excuse for a guitar solo that would just never end, and you were just like, dude, I mean, you just got off of this like hardcore, ridiculous, energized fest where it was like strict to the book. You know, this is the Pyromania CD essentially, or album.
That was a good album. That was a good album.
Yeah. And when the problem with poor Billy Squier, I mean, it couldn't have been a few weeks after that, and Def Leppard was on their own tour for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But then
I do remember one other one. So go ahead with your concert, because I do remember one as a child that I went to.
What? That was it.
So when I was a very little kid, my mom went back to school and she got an art degree. And so I would tag along to her art classes a lot. This was pre-kindergarten, like probably 3 or 4. I was probably 4. And I remember one day in the cafeteria at UW Whitewater, Willie Nelson and a bunch of guys came to play. And I know it's Willie. That's my prediction, right? Willie. But I saw Willie Nelson play at like a mess hall cafeteria at the University of Whitewater as a little kid. And what I really remember out of that, not just seeing Willie, because my mom had a poster of Willie on her like bedroom door. I'm like, oh, that's the guy on the poster. But I remember the bass player being like really animated, like playing like, you know, and even at one point during the set, I shit you not, he laid down on stage and laid his bass down, and he just like played it sideways. Like he was just laying down, playing his string bass, like an upright bass, just sideways. And I just remember as a kid being like, that's a little weird. Watching that, like, I got to see Willie Nelson, you know?
It's funny how you remember the exact place you saw him from.
Oh, yeah, well, because it was so weird. It was so out of place. But so the cool thing was, like, my mom was an art student, so I would be like in the sculpture lab watching them like pour bronze into molds, and like watching these crazy artists who were like, you know, like sucking down coffee and smoking cigarettes and like just painting just like crazy ass stuff. And I just remember as a kid just being like, this is just like the creativity in that room was just insane. And I remember also getting kicked out of a nude class. There was like a nude model.
Now put your clothes back on, Jake.
What? Not me.
Oh.
There was a nude woman in front of the class for everyone to sketch. And I remember my mom being like, you go wait out in the hall. And so I remember, like, you know, I was like trying to reach in the vending machine and stuff like that for like a good hour. And I was like sitting in the hallway outside these art classes as a little kid, you know, not getting into trouble other than maybe trying to break into a vending machine here or there. But but like I remember like being like, what's the problem with the nude? Like, you always taught me, Mom, that's our body and we should be fine with it. But then it was like suddenly when it was like a class of hers, you know.
Depends on how many Pollocks are in the room with you. Yeah, nude painting. I can't imagine that being. Oh boy. How old are you? 10?
No, I was like 4. I was like a little.
Oh, you were
kid.
little.
Yeah.
See, that similar thing happened to me, sort of. Nobody was painting anybody, but I remember I was probably in that general age, and
if they weren't painting anybody, what was going on?
Well, I guess I don't know that. I was really young. I was with my mom, and we were at the hot springs up in, like, I don't know which one, Glenwood Springs or something like that. It's some hot spring somewhere, and we went up there, and in order to change into my bathing suit, I had to be with somebody, and so they didn't you didn't just go kick off into the freaking guy's room or whatever. So I was in there, and there's all these ladies like taking, and I'm like, I wonder if I'm supposed to be looking at all of you. You know, it's like one of those, yeah.
Well, was it one of those situations where like you were with your mom and you're little and you couldn't, you had to go with her in the ladies' room?
Yeah. So I mean,
we've all been through that.
I guess. I mean, that was the only time for me. I was just like, this is just really, whatever. So then we went out into the hot springs and did whatever we did in the which was, I always thought, I mean, why you take a kid to hot springs to begin? It's just really stupid. At least when I was a kid, it was just dumb. I mean, having a bunch of kids at the hot, I mean, essentially just, it wasn't like there was no diving boards. There was no, I mean, there was no reason.
And when we were kids too, Jim, I mean, like the dudes were just these slimy, sleazy guys, like wearing like Speedos and shit. You know, they like they had some pendant around their neck and a bunch of chest hair and some Speedo, and they were like,
guys are gross anyway. I mean, we are. It's just, I mean, none of us want to hang around each other. I mean, I guess some of us want to hang around each other, but I don't want to hang. I mean, I remember. It's a long story. I'm not even going to go into it. But I was just like, I mean, when somebody that's really close to me came out one time, and when she came out, I was like, well, I just kind of assumed that like all women were bi at least. I mean, just from the standpoint that men are nasty, stinky, scummy people, and you got to have a break sometime. And she started
that's
laughing.
your perspective. Some people might think differently, but
that's what I said. I said maybe some. I'm just, for me, I just like, guys are just, we don't take care of ourselves.
We're rough.
I know guys, I know women and guys who love that too. And it's like that, but that's what makes you who you are. And that's what makes you identify who you are, is
exactly
what you're attracted to and what you're repulsed by and what,
Thank God that there are people that don't hate me because I'm a nasty human being.
Jim, I hate you. I hate you.
Well, besides you, there's at least somebody out there that doesn't. I mean, not that, I guess I don't really know that anymore. It's been a year or so since I've left. Somebody just called recently and asked what the temperature was here, and I said it was about 70 degrees, and they said 70 degrees. I go, yeah. I just looked at the thermostat. It's about 70. They go, no, outside. And I go, outside? Nobody goes outside. Who cares what's outside? Anyway,
that was a perfect segue, man. You segued perfectly.
Hey, there we go.
We were taking a cooking class the other night, and the woman running the class was from India. And she said, what's the temperature there? And I said, oh, it's like, 0 Fahrenheit, it's pretty bad. But then she lived in Montreal, and she was like, oh, it's 20 below here. You guys got it warm. It was great, because we were talking about basically this concept that we live in an inhabitable environment. We live where life doesn't exist, like the birds whose brains, you Kang has probably heard me say this, birds whose brains are smaller than the tip of my pinky, they leave. They go. They're like, no. Yeah. And we stay put. We're like, yeah, we're going to tough it out. We got walls.
Some of us move back.
Yeah.
There's no logic in that one.
Beautiful springs, beautiful summers. But you know what? I mean, right now, my mailbox, which literally stands it's taller than my youngest son. So it's about 4.5 feet tall, is under the snow. So I had to literally shovel out the front of my mailbox so we can get mail, so we can get our bills.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Counterproductive.
4 feet high in the air.
It's so weird to think about. It's so weird to think about.
You could have used. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. It's so weird to think about. Like today, like we can survive in that, and because we have markets and stuff, we can go buy food and stuff.
Yeah.
But like back then, like the first settlers and like these Arctic kind of biomes, like what was going through their head? Like they settled here, and they're like, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Even when Ho-Chunk lived here, they left. Yeah. It's just crazy. It's utter lunacy. And then like I get the spring and summer and fall here. I mean, there is no place I'd rather be. Like even if I had an Arizona home or a Mexico home, I'd want to be up here in June. I mean, this is where I want to be. Or Colorado. I mean, those are just prime, Yeah. But like January, February, like what the F are we doing?
Well, it's like, let's face it. All right. When we start talking about when the settlers first started coming in here, I mean, there was a lot of different peoples from a lot of different nations that were all coming to the United States. Okay. Let's just face it. All right. There's a whole lot of people here that have like generations of people with the last names that are not Cortez. Yeah. Okay. I mean, not a whole lot of people from Spain stayed. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Like if you were from Spain, you went, wow, it's getting cold. Let's go further south.
You got those northern names. You got northern names that stayed.
Yeah, people from Germany and Czechoslovakia and wherever else they came from.
Yeah, Yangs.
Yes, exactly. The generations and generations of Yangs that have been here.
So what was I know there was a huge Hmong migration to Minnesota and Wisconsin.
Yeah. I think a lot of it has to do with Christian missionaries sponsoring people. So that's why you see so many Hmong people in Minnesota. Minnesota is basically the most populated area of Hmong people. I think Wisconsin's one of the top. But yeah, that's why, because a lot of these Christian missionaries sponsored us to come live where they were. So it's weird to think about. It's like people from like this tropical, almost equatorial, climate. We all moved to this really cold Wisconsin,
terrible place.
Minnesota. It's like, why aren't most of us more in California or Texas?
Yeah, exactly. It's just somewhere down south. Even like, so honestly, like Arkansas, Mississippi. I mean, those are climates similar to Laos, similar to Thailand. They really are. There's a lot of plants. It's hot. It's muggy. It's like that would make sense, but also you go where you go.
Wisconsin, Minnesota were the states that were taking us in. So that's just how the cookie crumbled.
I am very happy
we didn't get kicked out. That's why we're here.
That's a whole story in itself. Why and how we got here.
Oh man, yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. We could do like 10 podcasts on how basically the Hmong helped us in Vietnam, and when I say our, I mean the United States. The U.S. used the Hmong and made contracts with them and used them as our sort of secret guys in the jungle.
Warriors,
yeah, the warriors. And I mean, how many guys who are probably in your dad's generation are gone? Are just not here.
Pretty much any of us, are either related or know someone who was directly involved in the Vietnam War. So, yeah, it's crazy to think about. And it's what 56 years since then? 50 years since the war?
Yeah. Oh, I know, Jim.
So it's like relatively not too long ago.
Your dad served in Vietnam, right, Jim?
Yep.
And so did my dad.
Yeah. Yep. Well, he actually he used to do a radio thing. I mean, he's been on the radio a few times talking about the. He was after he got back from the war. He was in an organization called Vietnam Vets Against the War, and then from there, I mean, he knows a lot of the people in the Vietnamese community here. Vets in the Vietnamese community and people that, I mean, a lot of friends. And so, yeah, I don't know a lot of the people that my dad knows. but there's not a lot of them. There's not a lot of men, Vietnamese people my dad's age in the area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know whose is though. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I was thinking doesn't matter. We can move on. That's our topic.
I didn't mean to get heavy. It was an interesting thing because it's Wisconsin. So I have a funny, I shouldn't say funny, interesting thing that my dad shared with me. So my dad worked in the Army during Vietnam, but he actually served in Korea at the time. And they were doing he worked in health. So he was always in environmental health. And so one of the things that he did was he worked with the locals because malaria was a big problem. I mean, honestly, malaria was killing as many troops as the Viet Cong were.
My dad got it.
Yep, exactly. And so he worked with that, but he had to work with the locals on it. And the local monks, the Buddhist monks who they would meet with, who were honestly the kind of in charge of the government, sort of, I say government from our standpoint, but basically who were the leaders? They were the leaders in society at that point. And he met with them and said, we need to sample the mosquitoes. We need to sample a bunch of mosquitoes and do this. And the Buddhist monks said, hold on, we need to meet about this. And they met and they realized they weighed that, a mosquito's life versus finding out a cure of disease and all this stuff. Because they didn't want them sampling mosquitoes.
Yeah.
So basically they came back and they said, you may do your study and you may harvest 8 mosquitoes.
Wow.
Yeah. And which honestly, I mean, to my dad's standpoint, because he comes from a science, he was like, what? But then he was like, we're in their land. This is their home. This is what they do. This is what we do. And he said, he remembers other people like fighting against it. And he's like, no, that's the right thing to do. This is what we do, Mm-hmm. And so they sampled 8 mosquitoes out of respect for the local leadership and customs, and that's what they did in that environment to figure out malaria. So I think that was such a cool story, was like that they met and that these monks were toiling over the lives of 8 mosquitoes.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know much about Buddhist philosophy, but that's pretty crazy.
I'm having a tough time with that one.
I agree. You can argue about that all day. But it's an interesting perspective. So, okay.
It is.
So we got to get going pretty quick. We're going to do a quick one tonight, and I'm sorry, Franco, that you're not here. We got a lot to talk about, Franco, next time around. And by the way, next time I want to do hot drinks while we're in like polar vortex, like Wisconsin weather. I want to do hot drinks. So I have Tom and Jerry mix for both of y'all, and I got some brandy for both of y'all. So I'm going to drop that off before our next one, and we're going to do a hot drink sampling of maybe a hot toddy and a Tom and Jerry next time. And I know Jim's probably curling his stomach.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Oh, and okay. So speaking about the cold, this is a funny thing. So Yikeng and his sister interviewed him. He was doing. You want to prep this, Yikeng?
Oh yeah. Back in November for my birthday, since we couldn't have a big party, I just wanted to do something special. So we kind of went all out on a. If you're familiar with it, Hot Ones challenge. Hot Ones is a YouTube channel where this guy named Sean Evans, he interviews celebrities and
this camera.
During the interview, yeah, exactly. And while he does his interview, they eat progressively more hot wings. So the more
so you start with
kind of less hot, and then get hotter and hotter until the end, until the people break down and they give crazy answers, or you just laugh at them while they are in pain. So we kind of did the same thing. We rented out some gear, kind of did the best we could with the production, and our video's on YouTube now, and we're gonna watch.
That is so cool.
I gotta share this. Oh, did I close it? I closed it out.
It was just saw the one with they just saw the hot ones with Dan Levy. the Eugene Levy's from shit. No, not.
Oh yeah.
Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, from Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
then,
haven't seen any new ones in a while, but I got to catch up.
It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. I just love it.
Yeah.
I love that you did that.
Yeah.
How cool! So what did you like? Did you do like blindingly spooky, scary, hot like they do also? Or?
Yeah, we got the same sauces they use in the show.
Oh, you use the same ones? Did you do the what
I
was
did
the
bomb.
tell me?
I did the bomb.
How bad was it?
It was awful. And the bomb is like the bomb is the third highest one that they put on there. And
it just never seems like the other two are like hold a candle to how terrible the bomb is. That's what I'm always like. Go ahead.
I'm going to show you my two favorite parts of this video.
All right. I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to watch it.
I'm just going to show you the beginning, and I'm going to show you the end. Because these are and D-Kang, you got more balls than me for doing this because I could see you hurting. All right, so let me share this. I got to share it with audio. Last time I shared it, I didn't share it with audio. So there we go. Audio. Now we're good. So this is D-Kang doing the Hot Ones challenge. And did I make the full screen? Okay, here. This is one of my favorite spots.
This was the one that was like kind of hot. These two weren't that bad.
I think I just lick it. I'll lick my fingers.
I think that
did you guys do a deep dive in your Instagram?
Able to
we did. This is the bomb now. This is the bomb. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here it goes.
I can feel it. She's on the tip of my tongue.
Here it goes.
Oh my god!
And ask your question. Here it goes. Here it comes.
During the elections, you supported Andrew Yang. Why Andrew Yang? Is it because he had the last?
Look at him. He's hurting.
Yang. Okay, Yang.
Why?
Because Andrew Yang was the most reasonable, smartest candidate there was. He was genuine too. He's not a career politician.
He's still talking politics.
He's not a career politician. He hasn't been in politics. Drinking down some spot coffee.
On it.
The beer helped a little bit. He hasn't been in politics for decades. Like Joe Biden and all those guys.
All those
Doesn't have an
guys.
agenda.
I'm gonna jump ahead. This has been my
Tops that list.
This is the end.
All right, Gang, you did it.
I did it.
You went through all the Hot One sauces. How do you feel?
I feel pretty. My senses are heightened. I feel like I could go on a stealth mission with Captain Price right now, and after that, go guns blazing with Master Chief, and then maybe after that, just chill with Dave Grohl, rock out some tunes with him, and then just chill out with some ice cream and Arthur Morgan. He was a chill dude.
Who's Arthur Morgan?
He's a video game character. You'll see in the video.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. You watch it, and what's funny is I thought it would be linear. I thought it would just be getting hotter, but it seemed like it kind of went like this. For you.
I don't know if we lined up the sauces correctly, but yeah, the two middle. It was like a yellow one and another one next to it. I don't know if we lined it up correctly or if the bomb just kind of ruined like the whole like linearness of it.
That's the way that it is on the show though. I mean on the show after the bomb hits, it's like the next two are they're always kind of they're kind of you just don't think it's not
so the chemistry behind.
Go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say the chemistry behind a lot of the spiciness of pepper is it's an irritation of your skin, irritation of the membranes in your mouth and in your nose and all that. So what it does is it forces your body your heart starts beating faster because you're sending more blood there, because it's like, we got to rid it of this chemical, much like it would if you had an injury. And so it's like, ooh, and so you actually get that sort of
endorphins,
caffeine high, endorphin high that kicks in, and you're sweating, and you're like, oh, because your body's trying to get rid of this chemical that's like in your mouth, and you could see you sweating, you could see you fighting it off, but you did it, and it was actually really funny to watch, and I like that there was the interview back and forth. And,
your sister looks like she did a good job too. That's awesome.
So she kind of stopped halfway.
Did she?
So like we kind of like edited out the parts where like you could see her just set the wing aside.
Yeah, I saw that a couple times. I saw her just take a wing and put it in the bowl, and I'm like,
no.
She was like, I have to conduct an interview. I can't do this. I'm not Sean Evans.
Yeah, nobody's Sean Evans. That guy, he's a legend for sure.
Yeah, like I don't get how he
absolute
can
legend.
straight face after doing all those.
Yeah. So when people feel warm, when they say heat from that, it's because you do feel heat, because your body, your heart pumps faster, you sweat, you're actually warming up because your body is naturally reacting to it. So that's that. Man, I love spicy food. Like I said, I had tapatios tonight with habanero sauce.
Yeah, I like a comfortable heat, because it kind of gets you going. Like it does heighten your senses a little bit. So
yeah, totally.
Have you guys been to El Jalapeno?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You think so? The tacos are better than El Jalapeño's tacos?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Well, it's different. El Jalapeno is more like street food, and Tapatios is a little more. It's like a level up. It's like a chef's take on Mexican food.
That's what I was curious about. Yep. So that's not. So I mean, like I'm
They're
looking.
both good. Both good.
I get it. I'm just looking for like they probably don't have like intestine tacos. Like I like the tripas tacos.
I think they do. I think they do. I could be wrong on that.
I don't know.
I always get the barbacoa from them.
I like enchiladas verdes. Enchiladas are just amazing, and also their tortas. Their tortas are amazing, and their drinks. They make these really fancy drinks, and they'll put like little flowers in them, but it's like authentic, good tequilas, and they have like agave syrup from Mexico and like sugars from Mexico, and it's like
it's an authentic Mexican place,
yeah, and super nice staff, like the nicest people. As a matter of fact, the owners I registered to vote this year in Fitchburg. So
cool. So where is it? Since we're plugging them in, I want to know where it is.
It's next to the Pick and Save. It's you know where the Great Dane and the Pick and Save are. Yeah, it's right in that strip.
I actually went there and got food there once. This is funny. I got there like literally like the very first week they opened. I got and I can't remember what it was, but I got a thing, but it was ages ago, like probably 2 years ago.
So good. So use those spices, stay warm. We're gonna talk about warm drinks next time. So we're gonna get on. I especially want to see Fabian drink a Tom and Jerry and see his reaction.
Well, I don't understand why.
No, just because he's got like the 4 things that he drinks.
Oh, exactly.
And this is so far outside of that. When you go hot with like fluffy eggs in your drink, that's a different thing.
You know how bad that sounds? It sounds disgusting.
Yeah, there's eggs in your
drink.
It's a batter. Yeah. So
I get it.
So,
it sounded really bad.
So I'm going to cut this off because I've got friends who have a concert going right now, and I don't want to crash into that.
Let's go watch.
Hey, thanks for joining us. 0-0 and score right now. That might change for next.
What?
We'll see. Yeah, that might change.
Well, you never know. All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate you.
Because of Charlie Sheen. I get it. All right, never mind.
Yeah. I appreciate you joining us, and we will see you next time on Important Things with Beer. Take care, guys.
See you guys.
Peace.